So I like to bring context because until I had sort of an awareness to see where you were actually born and where you came from, it's like I mean, if you look at it today, of course, you look at that and just like, wow, you guys were poor as dirt. And when I say poor as dirt, that's literally what I mean, because the house you had was a dirt floor. The walls are bamboo shoots. The roof was like
clay
and leaves. The house was attached right to where the goats are. There's of course no light switches. There's no lights. There's no running water. Barefoot. It's like this thing you would sort of see in the movies or in TV, and sort of like, oh, that's, you know, like the impoverished nations of the world right now. And that really, when I became aware of that, it was just like, oh wow, like you actually came from nothing, which seemed like nothing, and even when you go back there today, what you see is that it's still a very simple life, but it's the scale of happiness, which is something I learned, is that it doesn't matter what you have and how much you have, but if you have like this level of happiness, that there's like, that to me has become what success is the level of happiness that you have. And there you see it, and it's just, obviously there's more people that are connected to the earth and working in the garden. That's what it became my inspiration to like be in the garden, because it's just like, how is it that these people are so happy? They don't have all these luxuries, they don't have all these gadgets, and it's just I figured there must be some sort of connection, direct connection to the earth. So it's to know, you know, where you actually came from, and this is something that I have to remind myself when you have to figure out how to use your phone. If you take someone who didn't have a light switch to turn on when you're growing up, to now having the power of the internet and the world and this computer in your hands, and it's just like, yeah, I kind of don't get this thing. I was just like, oh yeah, this guy came from here, and now all of a sudden there's this, and that really didn't, you know, that happened kind of in a short period of time. So it's just something I like to portray to people, that, you know, what we have created, you know, came from a place of happiness and a place of like just true passion, and like, and just, well, you said the word sharing there, because it's
simplicity.
What education do you have?
Share the little things. Share. My mother used to make the fresh bread once every couple of weeks. So share one with the neighbors, and the neighbor make in the next 2 weeks. So she's gonna bring her fresh bread, and her fresh bread is better because had less corn. Our bread maybe wasn't as good because had more corn. But now we wish we had that corn bread, because we don't have it. It tastes so much better because it's hard to get it now, because nobody makes fresh bread with corn. So it's the things that we've been brought up that we are missing the most, or at least I am missing anyhow. So yeah, it's it again is going back to basic, going back to simplicity, and that kind of thing. Like,
so it's funny that you answered that question that way, because when I was asking you about your education, that your education seems to have come from, well, your mother or your family, but yeah, like I said, I was glad you answered it that way. But what I meant was like your academic education. What school did you go to? What grade did you go to? What university degree do you have?
Let's see, university, there probably was one maybe 50, 100 kilometers, I'm not sure how far away. So I probably must went by on the front of the door maybe once or twice in my life. But yeah, university, I didn't even know what the word university means. High school, I didn't quite got there. So anyhow, I got to graduate from grade 5 education. That's my. That's all my.
Grade 5. I got a little further ahead than that. I finished high school, but I didn't. I went to college, but I didn't unfortunately get the degree. So, where I guess what you're saying is that what you learned, or what you know today, and what you have, created, didn't necessarily come from a school education, but just came from the education of life.
Education of life, everyday living, and talking to good people and not so good people, and you learn to select your people, and you learn to spend more time with the people that they're your type, and the ones that are not your type, you try not to associate as much or none if it's possible, and move on, and try to build your own little
network.
Network, yes.